Well, this topic is Diana Taurasi, the WNBA GOAT. And if you're new to sports, you might not even know what the GOAT means, but it clearly means the greatest of all time. And I think undoubtedly, no doubt, 100% of the time, 100% of my vote would go to Diana Taurasi as being the WNBA's greatest player of all time. And she just proved it, in my opinion. She's got 9,000 points. These are the stats that she just hit this week: 9,000 points and 2,000 assists. The first player in WNBA history to hit both of those numbers. And I'm telling you, undoubtedly, she is the greatest of all time, not just because she's the first to do that and to hit those two numbers, but she's also got championship rings. She's also got MVPs. She's got gold medals. She's the leader. We were talking about being the leader on your team. This is the leader of your team. This is the face of your franchise. Diana Taurasi is one of the greatest female players of all time, one of the greatest WNBA players of all time. I think she is, in my opinion, the greatest player of all time when we're talking about the WNBA. And, there's another person that you could bring up in those conversations. Sue Bird is very close. But I've got to go with Taurasi here based off the stats, the MVPs, the championships, the gold medals, and she's still got a lot left in the tank. I mean, we're talking about her like in comparison, I think she's like the LeBron. She's like the LeBron of the WNBA, a veteran player that's still got a lot left in the tank, many more years of greatness left. Just like LeBron James, Diana Taurasi has got it all, man. She can do it all. She's a great player. And I think, like I said, if I've got to vote for the greatest of all time, it's got to be her in the WNBA. And she's just proving it day after day, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. A UConn player, too, as well, producer Ben. A UConn player locally for us out of New England. She came out of UConn and is just lighting it up year after year.
One thing that I don't understand is a lot of times it's sort of like money and recognition. Like the market decides a lot. So. But what I'm curious about is with her shoe deal. Is this right? She's got a shoe deal like underneath LeBron's like shoe deal or something like that. Like she does not have her own shoe deal, and she should have a whole line of sneakers. And I'm wondering like what's it going to take? And I was just kind of looking on what people are saying. Like here's one person. This was from a few months back, but basically saying if you don't give Taurasi a shoe deal before she retires, you can disappear forever. That's tweeting at Nike. So it's like people want to put their money where their mouth is, but she is the GOAT. And I mean, if you're going to have a shoe deal, it's kind of like too bad that a lot of times these companies have to make decisions just solely based on money. But this seems like a time where Nike is just way behind the times on this one. And I can't believe that there's not. And if I mean, this doesn't count like what she's going on right now with her shoe. She doesn't have like her own line. She just got to look how excited she is. Like she would be a great spokesperson. Why hasn't somebody done this? And if they're like holding out, like Adidas, step up. I mean, there's so many different brands that could step up and really, elevate this this superstar here. Like, I don't know what they're waiting on.
Well, she is a Nike athlete, so you're not going to see her go to another team as far as branding goes at this late in her career, unless they're offering big money. I think Nike's definitely going to keep her in the fold, and I don't blame her. If I was an athlete, I'd want to be a Nike athlete as well. The exposure that you get, the amount of shoes that you have access to, the facilities and equipment that you have access to. I think that's why she's loving being a Nike athlete. But I think you're right. I think she does deserve her own shoe deal. But I think you're right as well. I think it comes down to money and numbers, and they're saying, how many units of her shoe can we sell compared to, LeBron's, and it's just not out there. We've talked about this kind of like the U.S. women's soccer team before with Pat, and it's just, sometimes the numbers just don't match up. But I think you're right. I think this is definitely somebody that if she deserved her own shoe deal, this is the one. She is the greatest of all time when it comes to the WNBA. And like I said, she's still got many years left. So you still might see Nike go ahead and deliver that in these last few years of her career.
Folks, if you like this show, you're watching it right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. That's Comeback Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Comeback Sports. And then all the cut-ups that our awesome producer, Ben Couto, puts together after the show, that'll all filter to your YouTube channel. You don't have to go search for it. It's just right there in your subscriptions.